Sexy Aya on Grace Covenant FM.
Mag-tuning every day sa 101.3 Reason and Bacolod ang tanan ma-happy. Paminawan ninyo, lingaw kaayo. Ang ilang music number 1 kahanginan. Reason and Bacolod number 1. Di na paminaw, halos sa tanan ang ilang mga DJing mag-iitan. Walay mga lupit sa ilang ganusong sa kahanginan. Naglabyog-labyog, mag-party kita kauban ng magkada. Tune in the every day para walang problema. Dili mag-uon, pwede tamang request. Kung musa'y ganahan, hana sige text. Okay na lang matigulang mabatanon. Hasta ang bata, sabay lang ihapon. Mauni ang sound trip na ko every morning. Nindot kayo ang song makabooming. 101.3, bakit paminawa? Base na po yung limunan, tula ka. Mag-tuning every day sa 101.3 Reason and Bacolod ang tanan ma-happy. Paminawan ninyo, lingaw kaayo. Dito ang ilang music number 1
Versus Aningaw Kaayo.
The alternative learning system of DepEd Lanao del Norte is proud to present the learning sessions for the least, the lost, and the last in the province. The program is a viable alternative to the existing formal educational instruction, encompassing both the non-formal and informal sources of knowledge and skills. Dali na mo! Kay sa ALS, kaugmaon mo, sigurado!
Mabuhay, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Mapiya kapipita and maayong buntag and also good morning, Lanao del Norte. You are now listening to Grace Covenant FM with DepEd program ALS Radyo sa KAALAM Radio Broadcast. Kami ang inyong sulugoon sa kahanginan. Ako si Shikis A. Bagnoran ug kauban karon nato ang ALS Implementors sa Bacolod District. Madungog ninyo ang ALS Radyo sa KAALAM Radio Broadcast matag Martes sa takna ang alas 11 sa buntag ngadto sa alas 12 sa kadtuon. Diin inyong madungog ang atong mga leksyon and discussion sa atong klase sa ALS kon Alternative Learning System sa ato ang junior high school level.
Sa dili pa kita mo padayon sa mga lessons sa Alternative Learning System, our warm greetings sa atong mga ALS learners o mga suking tigpaminaw. Hinaot nga safe ang tanan no? Sa kusog nga ulan nga nasinati nato kagahapon nga nag-cause of flash floods and landslide, mag-amping kitang tanan. Bahala og daghang limpyuhon, ang importante nga luwas og safe ang tanan. Di ba, Ma'am Amor?
Yes, ma'am. Before we start sa atong mga paghaisgutan karong adlaw, atong pagtimbaya sa atong mga minahal nga mga tigpaminaw. A very pleasant day kanatong tanan, especially sa atong mga ALS learners sa matag barangay dinhi sa atong lungsod sa Bacolod ug sa tanan nga maabot aning atong radio station. Magandang buhay. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Yes, maayong buntag. Kita mismo sa atong kagalingon, kita magminantayon. Wearing of face mask and proper hand washing. But before anything else, atong pagtimbaya sa atong district in charge, Ma'am Josephine V. Vizcaya, ug atong division ALS focal person, Sir Angelito D. Barasona, our beautiful education program specialist, Ma'am Christine J. Timo and Ma'am Ivy Madronero, and also our warm greetings to our schools division superintendent, Sir Adalberto L. Oplinaria, with our assistant schools division superintendent, Rosemary Masisar, CID Chief Maria Eva S. Idon, and to our SGUD Chief Maria Carmela T. Ablin, and to our ever enthusiastic regional ALS focal person, no other than Dr. Ray Butch Mahinay. Good morning. O karon, gihapon ka nato, gihapon ka nato karon ang ato mga ALS implementors sa Bacolod nga sina teacher
Leah Morte Alinea,
Marnie R. Sorizo,
Shikis A. Bagnoran
and yours truly, Charity May L. Tabar.
yes.
ug karon ato nang pagasugdan ng atong learning session sa ALS. Sa karon maghisgot na kita sa atong mga learning activity sheets akong giawhag ang atong mga ALS learners sa pag-andam sa ilahang learning activity sheet sa Learning Strand 2 Scientific and Critical Thinking Skills Junior High School. Palihog na lang pod ug andam sa inyong mga papel ug ballpen kung diin inyong masulat ang inyong mga notes ug tubag sa mga pangutana. Ug mamahimo nga adto kita sa lugar nga dili kita dali nga matugaw. Andam na ba mo? Karon atong paminawon og pagasabto ng lesson nga ihatag karon sa ato ang teacher na si Ma'am Shakis.
Yes.
Oh, Ma'am Shakis.
Yes, thank you, Ma'am Amor. So, a blessed morning, everyone. Another day and another topic for us to learn. So, time check, it's already 11:06 in the morning. So, again, this is Teacher Shakis, your teacher on air. So, as we start our new lesson, do not forget to prepare your notebook, pen or pencil, as well as your learning activity sheet 23 in Learning Strand 2 Scientific and Critical Thinking Skills, of course, in junior high school level. So, how was everybody? Kamusta man ang tanan sa mga ulan nga nahitabo, no? Taas kayo ang adlaw sa pag-ulan. So, usually nakakos dyan siya og kuan tungod sa non-stop nga pagbubo sa ulan. Nakakos siya og man landslide on flash floods yun, no? Dili lang diri sa ato ang province but as well as sa ato ang duol nga syudad, Iligan City. So many people are now busy clearing operations as well as retrieving things nga mahumot igyud in tawon sa tubig baha. So sige lang og mahumot basta kay safe ang tanan, no? Basta kay kanang pag-amping lang gihapon ang tanan. So basta natural ko anjud ang calamity gyud, no, abot kay murdi jud mapugngan. Moagi gyud siya, moagi gyud ang tubig kung asa siya moagi. So ang importante is safe and sound ang tanan. So in times like that, clean water is really a necessity, no? Kung importante kaayo ang limpyo nga tubig, especially ang mga tubig nga mainom. So today, we are going to learn how to make water safe to drink through boiling, filtering, and chlorination. So, let's start. So, water is a form of matter that exists in 3 different phases. So, sa water sa ato is tubig. So, it can be solid in the form of ice, liquid, which is for drinking and washing, and also, water is considerably no taste and odorless. So, wala kini baho. So, and also in the gas form of water vapor. So, in the absence of liquid water, all living things will cease to exist. So, walay kuan living things kay dependent jud kita sa tubig, especially sa limpyo nga tubig. So, water replenishes the lost body fluids and is important in different cellular processes. So, there are 3 ways to make water safe to drink. Especially kung dili available kung dili mo sure og limpyo ang tubig. So, these are the good ways nga imong buhaton para
sa makaron ulan-ulan.
Yes, para kuan safe ang imuhang mainom nga tubig. So, this includes boiling, filtering, and chlorination. So, ato na silang usa-usahon. So, boiling of water or pagpabukal sa tubig. So, it is the easiest and the cheapest way in purifying water which requires, so may kinahanglan ani ang kainit ra gyud. Ang pagpabukal sa tubig mo kini ang pinakasayon nga pamaagi sa paglimpyo sa tubig. So, kita magpabukal, ang ginahanglan lamang kita og of course tubig og ang kalayo. Yes, kalayo. So, trivia no, nga ang boiling point di ay nato sa tubig anaa sa 100 degrees Celsius. So pamaagi sa pagpabukal, it kills bacteria, viruses, and pathogens. So, the time for boiling water is approximately 3 to 5 minutes. So, and it should be covered and cooled after. Di ba na siya pwede ni maimnon diretso? Di ba? Imo na siya pabugnawon. Pabugnawon sa nimanto sa kanang katamtaman na ang init nga kaya na nimo siya nga i-intake. So, pag humanong pagpabukal ni ini, sulod sa tulungan to sa 5 ka minuto ato usa kini nga takluban o pabugnawon. Igo pod na kanang pwede na mainom o magamit sa dili makapaso nga temperatura. So careful gyapon ta no while nagboil sa tubig, especially kung natay mga gagmay sa ato ang kids sa ato ang palibot kay kuan siya.
Balay.
Yes, kay dangerous pod siya sa kuan, hazardous pod siya. So mas maayo nga mag-amping gid gihapon kita. So next is filtration or pagsala. So this method includes the elimination of solid particles o pagtanggal sa mga buo-buo nga particles present in water while the liquid portion is stored to allow precipitate to settle at the bottom of the container. So imo sa siyang dili tandugon kay para malugdang tong mga kuan dense or bugat nga mga particles. So ayha nimo siya nga salaon. So filtering water can be done with the use of clean cloth. Pwede na ta mo gamit og limpyo nga tela niini, paper towel or filter paper, o pwede pod funnel, and storing the liquid portion in a clean container. So pagsala sa tubig, mamahimo kita nga mo gamit og limpyo nga tela, baga nga paper towel or filter. Gamit ang pwede ta mo gamit og imbudo kanang i-transfer na nato siya, of course kay gilimpyuhan naman nato gisala, ibalin nato siya sa limpyo nga container, butanganan or sudlanan. So filtered water can be further treated using the other ways to make more potable for drinking. So moto ang filtration. So ikatulo is chlorination. So chlorine is a common chemical which is used by people to treat water for consumption. So this process is suitable for disinfection and sanitation of water. So 6 to 8 drops of chlorine is usually added to a given volume of water and allowing the mixture to stand for 30 minutes. So after ni magbutang sa 6 to 8 drops of chlorine, imo pa to siya ipa-standby for 30 minutes. So, ang 6 to 8 drops of water kay katumbas siya sa 1 galon. Okay, 1 gallon of water is 6 to 8 drops of chlorine. And then, it can be stored in a clean container. So, reminders ha, nga ang chlorine is a chemical element that is highly corrosive and it can cause irritation to the eyes or skin when highly concentrated. So sa paggamit ni ini, be extra careful in handling chemicals, and this should be handled with experts. And of course, keep it from the reach of children because it is better to be safe than sorry. Yes, may pay safe kaysa na ulahira budget ang pagmahay. So yes, those are the things or the ways to have water safe for drinking. The boiling or pagpabukal, filtration o pagsala, and chlorination or pagbutang og chlorine sa tubig. So these are just some of the techniques during survival mode, especially when clean water supply is scarce. Kani bitang nihit ang limpyo nga tubig nga mainom. So pwede ni sila nga mga mahimo nga pamaagi para alternative para makakuha ta og limpyo nga kanang safe nga mainom. And now to check your understanding, stated objective in your learning activity sheet is to demonstrate how to make water safe to drink with boiling, filtering, and chlorination. So stated in your exercises below is this is doing performance tasks in video. So pwede kani nga buhaton individually or pwede pa ni sila group. Okay, demonstration of purifying water by boiling, filtering, and chlorination. So stated in the instruction, divide the class in 3 virtual groups. So you can also do this individually or by group. I-accept lang gihapon na nako. So pwede na siyang yung buhaton nga na may kauban, pwede po nga ikaw lang. Each group or person will have to demonstrate the 3 processes of specified recording it through a video. And of course, ayaw kalimting nga mag-careful no sa pag-handle sa boiling water as well as pag-add og chlorine sa tubig. Again, dili kalimtan nga mag-amping sa paggamit sa chlorine and pag-handle sa boiling water. So, submission of output will be done online or can be submitted in your respective group chats and messenger. So, I believe na naman tayo mga messenger and group chats na nga specified for that usually barangay. So, and your output will be assessed with the use of the rubric. So the rubric will be demonstration for 25 points and the explanation 25 points for a total of 50 points. So, moto siya itong rubrics na again, demonstration 25 points, explanation 25 points, for a total of 50 points. So, that's a wrap in our lesson in LS2, last number 23. Now, let us listen to another lesson to be given to us by Mrs. Leamore P. Alania. Let's get it on, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Sheikh. Good morning once again. According to Lynn Pernell, never stop learning because life never stop teaching. Another day ahead for a new learning, and now everybody turn your learning activity sheets on number 24 or last number 24, which is all about health services available in the community. But before we proceed, what is health service? It is defined as a public service providing medical care. So, while health services available in the community, promoting a healthy living in the community level is very essential since it ensures a high number of people who can avail its health programs and services. So, these are the example of public health services that could be available in our community. So once again, health services is a public service providing medical care. So it all about services providing medical care. No, so mga pampubliko nga serbisyo, no? So naataan na we have in our places. So the first one is Rural Health Center or Barangay Health Center or Barangay Station or Health Station. So the primary unit that renders basic health care to the community. So, di ba namin ni siya sa ato ang barangay, per barangay. Then, the next one is Community Drugstore or commonly known as Butika sa Barangay. So, is a drug outlet legally organized by community organization, non-government organization, NGO, or by local government unit. So, the government launched this program to increase the availability of cheaper and affordable drugs in the community. So, we also have this butika sa barangay. No, I know sa murag akong nahibaw ako kabantay og sa barangay sa diri sa ato ang naatay butika sa barangay naa sa ato ang LGU, no? Oh, murag free ra gali gid siya, murag amot lang sa akong nahibawan ha, murag free ra siya, dili siya basta as long as naa kay mapakita nga resita og naay available pod sa ilaha. So naaptay free ana. Then next one is community hospital. Community hospital provide different services for the local community. Primary work on healthcare, promotion and illness prevention, but since illness or accident and emergency happens in the community, so the hospital needed to diagnose, so treat and manage the various ailments and diseases of the local population. So community hospital. So we have also community hospital, no, in our like for example kanang Baroy, no, provincial hospital. So ang nearest diri sa ato is Kauswagan and Kulambugan. Yeah. Then the last one is community health clinic. So a place where outpatients can avail first aid services, medical treatment, check-up, and counseling, etc. Dental clinic, lying in clinics or birthing clinics. So, murag sa ato deari, wala naman siguro gadawat sila manganak deari, no? Kay padagan naman gid nila sa nearest hospital sa pagkakaroon lang ha tungod siguro sa ato ang sitwasyon karon nga very cross guarded ang ato ang particularly ang ato ang health clinics, no, kay kuan man siya kanang wala ta kabalo kung naabay virus kay di na to makita ang ato ang kalaban sa pagkakarong panahon na. So once again, those are the example of public health services that are available in our community. So Number 1 is Rural Health Center, Barangay Health Center, or Barangay Health Station. Next is Butika, Drugstore, or commonly known as Butika sa Barangay. The third one is Community Hospital, and the fourth one is Community Health Clinic. But before we end up, let's just check your quick understanding about what we discussed today. So for our exercises, identify the health services in the community where you can avail the following. Choose your answer from the box by writing the letter only. So kindly check the exercises in your learning activity sheets. So just follow me. In the box, A, Rural Health Center or Barangay Health Center. B, Butika sa Barangay. C, Community Hospital. D, Community Health Clinic. So those are the choices. So number 1, affordable medicine. So asa man ang answer ana. So just write your answer at the space provided. Number 2, free vaccination for children. Number 3, free checkup. Number 4, diagnosis and treatment of illness. Number 5, information about family planning and counseling. Number 6, assistance in good nutrition. Number 7, help during childbirth. Number 8, information dissemination for good environmental sanitation. Number 9, education about good health. Number 10, cheaper drugs for maintenance. So all are done. Okay, but before I go, let me share to you this quote. Mistakes are proof that you are trying. So everybody, good job and keep it up. Have a nice day.
Alright, thank you, Ma'am Amor. Now let's proceed to the next topic. In Learning Activity Sheet number 26, it's all about scientific procedure in agriculture. In this module, you will learn the steps involved in the scientific procedure and learn to apply this in solving problems related to agriculture. Listen carefully and prepare your ball pen or pencil, notebook for notes, and also don't forget your learning activity sheets number 26 and follow as I discuss the topic. Every day we encounter problems that need to be solved. These problems may be simple, like figuring out what to wear for work or for a party. They may also be complex, like thinking how to build a machine for a science project. To solve the problems, you usually follow a series of steps that will lead you to the solutions. Have you heard of the scientific method before? If you have, what do you remember about it? What do you think being scientific implies? What it is important? Why is it important rather? The scientific method is a way or method of learning things and solving problems. It involves a series of steps that are followed when making decisions. It is very effective process of coming up with the best solution or decision possible based on the available information. The term is scientific means of or employing the procedure or method of science. Recalling the definition of science, science is a systematized body of knowledge. Being systematized means being orderly. Science requires the knowledge be used on facts that have been investigated and established. Facts are things that are known to exist. The best way to determine if something is factual is to observe it. The fact is an observable event. The scientific procedures are very important in agriculture since it helps a lot in identifying and solving problems in farming. Through this information and solutions and the use of scientific method, agricultural farming practices or techniques evolve. An example of this is seed or stock collection. Okay. Seed and stock collection is a procedure that guarantees the variation of seedlings to be planted, and it is important in maintaining the diversity of seeds collection during pest epidemics. To obtain a variety of seeds in a big number, it should be collected from several crops between species. With the scientific way of selecting seeds, for instance, farmers can be assured of a higher percentage of germination and expectedly higher harvest. When using scientific method, it is important to identify a specific problem first. The scientific procedure in seed or stock collection. Step 1. Identify underlying problems. The first step before anything strategy or development is to identify the problem first. So to identify the underlying problems in seed or stock collection is choosing the right type of seeds to be planted on field. So mopili ta og insakto nga liso nga angay nato nga itanom. Alright, nakakapili na ta og angay nga itanom. What is the next step? Step 2 is making hypotheses. The right crop or seeds to be planted depends on a lot of factors to be considered, such as characteristic of soil. For example, some crops grows best in sandy soil rather than in loamy or moist soil. Another factors are the temperature of environment and the amount of rainfall and water supply that can affect productivity. So need yun nato i-consider if angayan ba yun na siya diha itanom, muangay ba diha nga klase sa yuta ug ang water supply. So next step, we already choose the right seeds to be planted and consider the location. Next is step 3, gathering data. In gathering data, all you have to do is ask seeds from other farmers in nearby fields and plant the seeds in your own soil. Then, observe and gather data of the growth rate of the seeds. Next, step 4, analyzing data. In analyzing data, compare the growth rate of your plants with those from your nearby fields. Next, step 5, making conclusion. Based on the data gathered and analysis, you can now tell what seeds you should plant in your soil. And the last, step 6, making and implementing recommendations. With your conclusion, you can now pick the right seeds and proceed to planting. During harvest, you may now choose seeds for storage from well-ripe and high quality of fruits of a healthy parent plants, which should be free from diseases and insect scar. Alright, you learned what is scientific method is and what steps one follows to apply it. The scientific method is logical and orderly method or procedure of investigation. In scientific method, the problem is analyzed carefully and the hypothesis is made and tested through a process called experimentation. Data are obtained, analyzed and interpreted based on the result of the research and analysis. Conclusion and recommendations are made. So these recommendations are implementation in order to solve the problem. Okay, now let's do an exercises on your learning activity sheets below. Directions: apply scientific procedure in using grafting method. You can refer to above example as your guide. It is 10 points. Again, apply scientific procedure in using grafting method. You can refer to the above example as your guide. It is 10 points. All you have to do is follow the steps of scientific procedures. Okay, don't forget to keep your learning activity sheets after answering and submit it to your teacher in a scheduled day of submission. Stay tuned. Let's listen for another topic to be discussed with Ma'am Marnie. Right away, Ma'am.
Okay, Ma'am Cha. Thank you, Ma'am. Thank you. Once again, good day to all our ELS learners. Welcome to our new learning episodes in Learning Strand 2 Scientific and Critical Thinking Skills. Inyo no sa makatunan karon ang leksyon sa learning activity sheets or last number 27, which is all about crop rotation, use of diversion, and contour farming. First, let's define what is crop rotation. So crop rotation, it is a practice of growing of various types of crops successively in the same ground in a definite order. So mao ka na ang crop rotation. So why use crop rotation? Nganong need man jud nga mogamit kita og crop rotation panahon kita mananom? Kay it fertilizes the soil. So ang crop rotation makatabang siya aron mabalik ang katambok sa yuta. Another, it increases harvest rate of crops. So tungod sa crop rotation, makatabang pud siya aron mudaghan ang atong ma-harvest sa atong tanom, and also it increases nutrients in the soil. Another use of crop rotation is that it lessens the problem of soil erosion. So crop rotation also helps to prevent soil erosion through the use of contour farming. So what is a contour farming? Contour farming is the practice of plowing or pag-aararo and planting across a slope following its elevation contour lines. So what is a contour lines? These contour lines create a water break which reduces the formation of rills and gullies during times of heavy rain, allowing more time for the water to settle into the soil. The next is how to conduct crop rotation. To conduct crop rotation, it should be planted alternately for at least 3 to 4 year cycle, and this cycle should also be every year rotation. So ang pamaagi sa pagtanom sa mga crops should be done alternately, or dapat puli-pulihon or lahi-lahi ang itanom na mga crops. Buhaton kini for at least 3 to 4 year cycle, and then kada tuig aduna jud usab rotation sa mga crops nga imong itanom. Then, next nga pamaagi sa pagkandak sa crop rotation is that it needed a careful planning. Because, in planting crops, need pud ta mamili og mga plants or tanom nga atong itanom nga muhaom or muangay sa panahon aron adunay maayong resulta ang atong pagpananom. And lastly, how to start crop rotation. So, unsaon man nato pagsugod niini? First, list and prioritize your goal. So una, ilista o sadaan ang imong tumong sa imong pagpananom. Second, list the crops you plan to grow and the number of crops. Susunod, ilista na pud nimo ang gusto nimong itanom nga mga crops ug ilista usab nimo ang kadaghanon sa crops nga imong itanom. And the third is make rotational groups. So before mag-umpisa og tanom, dapat maghimo usa og cycle kung unsa ang gusto nimong itanom nga mga crops. Dapat i-group daan kada tuig ug unsa nga mga crops ang gusto nimo
or angayang nga itanom. So maon nang dapat adunay crop rotation kada tuig ang imong pagabuhaton aron magmalampuson ang imuhang pagpananom. So there are example of crops nga pwede ninyo sulayan kung kamo magplano na sa pagpananom. So the first example of crops is leafy crops. So unsa man yung mga leafy crops sama sa lettuce, cabbage, kangkong, pichay, and etc. The next is fruit-bearing crop. Unsa man yung mga fruit-bearing? So mao ni ang mga crops nga mamunga or right, so mao na siya mga fruit-bearing o sama sa mangga daw, yung mamamor. Next, another tomato, okra, bitter gourd or ampalaya. Then, eggplant. So, mao kato ang example sa mga fruit-bearing crops. The next example of crops is root crops. Root crops sama sa ginger or loya, gabi, cassava, or kamuting kahoy. Next, another example of crops is the legumes. So, unsa man ang mga examples sa mga legumes ng mga crops? So, example is the sigarilyas, lima beans. Unsa man ang lima beans? Patani. Then, peanuts, munggos, o pwede pod batong. Batong. So, mao kadto ang mga example sa mga crops. Ang una, leafy crops, fruit-bearing crops, root crops, and legumes. Now, let's go to the example of cycle of the stages of each plant bed or plot. The three boxes show the rotational group of crop to be planted for 3 years and each year's crop rotation. So, example in the first box, it represents the season 1 or year 1. The first crop is the leaf crop. So, sa leaf crop, pwede ka magkatanom og lettuce. Root crop, pwede gabi. Legumes, pwede sitaw. Sa fruit crop, pwede tomato. So, mao kadto ang crop rotation in year 1. In the year 2 or season 2, the crop rotation is different from the first year. So, lahi na sad ang rotation. Una na pod ang root crop. So, lahi na pod nga root crop ang imong itanom. For example, magtanom ba ka og cassava? Sa leaf crop, pichay. Fruit crop, eggplant. Then, legume crop, munggo. So, and lastly, in the season 3 or year 3, mag-una na sad ang legume crop. So, lahi na pod nga legume crop. Magtanom ba ka og peanuts? Then sa fruit crop, magtanom na pod ka og ampalaya. Then sa root crop, magtanom ba ka og ginger or loya. Then sa leaf crop, pwede pod magtanom ka og kangkong. So, for the 3 consecutive years, the crop rotation is different. Nagdepende ra nimo kung unsang imong desisyon nga angayan nimong itanom basta inyo lang hinumduman na dapat adunay crop rotation kung panahon kamo gaplano nga mananom. Kay kini dako og ikatabang para sa maayong ani or harvest sa inyong mga tanom. So mao kadto ang mahitungod sa crop rotation, hinaot aduna kamoy bagong nakatunan sa atong leksyon karon. Para sa inyong exercises, palihog og lantaw sa ubos nga bahin sa inyong learning activity sheet. Directions. Make a plan for your garden using 1-year crop rotation. Set the cycle and the type of crops you want to grow. Then, write your answer on the table. Again, directions. Make a plan for your garden using 1-year crop rotation. Set the cycle and the type of crops you want to grow. Then, write your answer on the table. Mao kadto ang among mga leksyon. Hinaot aduna kamoy bag-ong kaalam nga nakatunan mahitungod sa atong hilisgutan karong adlaw. Og daghang salamat sa inyong pagpaminaw. Ma'am Amor?
Okay, all right. Diba, no? So, hinaot nga daghan gyud tang makatunan karong adlaw, no? So makadugang gyud kaayo to sa ato ang knowledge, especially ang ato ang lugar is Buyag dato ta sa yuta, di ba?
Yes.
Okay, kung mahuman na ang mga exercises o gawain, ayaw kalimot sa pagpasa sa mga adlaw nga nasabutan sa pagpasa sa mga output ninyo, no? Dayon reminders pod usab sa atong learners, sa tanan gyud natong learners. So please compile your output para ready na nakita sa atong portfolio assessment nga pagabuhaton. So murag hapit-hapit na jud nato ning itigom, no? Magkalingaw nagtigom aron dili ta magkamamo pag abot sa panahon kay sus Purya buyag ang importante ra gid kaayo ang lahutay ra gyud, no? So para happy mo kung mo graduate mo, happy pod si teacher, no?
Yes. Unsa na lang ka ko proud si teacher, no?
Lagi, di ba?
Yes, especially kung kuan ka nang madasig ang estudyante, madasig yun ang teacher og help. So, atong dakong pasalamat og shout out sa atong mga madasigon nga mga ALS learners. We would like to thank you. Salamat kayo sa courage and determination that you have sa pagpadayon sa eskwela. So, kanang we are willing to help basta mag-help po sa kaugalingon, and especially kung ang kadasig magud kay madasig pud ang uban. So mag-isig dinasigay kita, no, sa to ang mga kauban pod nga ALS learners. So magdasigon po nato sila para mopadayon ug molahutay nga mahuman ang ilahang pag-eskwela. So ug mao kato ang atong mga leksyon karon, nang hinaot kami nga daghan og nadungagan ang inyong kaalam kabahin sa Learning Strength 2 Scientific and Critical Thinking Skills.
Og sa makausap pa kami malipay nga daghan mo grab sa opportunity sa pagtiwas og eskwela sa Alternative Learning System or ALS sa atong Department of Education to reach the least, the lost, and the last in our province. Dili pa ulahi ang tanan. Enroll na sa ALS. Dali na mo kaysa ALS kaugmaon mo sigurado.
Yes. Og before nato malimtan, no, among dakong pasalamat sa atong DepEd partners, no other than DXGC 101.3 Grace Covenant FM, our Municipal Administrator, Engineer Joselito E. Miquiabas, sa atong maanyag nga Station Manager, Erlinda G. Nangkas, ug sa atong ever supportive Municipal Mayor, Honorable Judith B. Miquiabas, our Vice Mayor, Honorable Alphonse Jensen Mancera, together with our stakeholders, the parents and the family of our ALS learners. Salamat sa pakunayong pagsuporta sa atong ALS learners. Daghang salamat.
Yes, thank you for the support pod, no, sa ato ang LGU Bacolod. So dako kayong pasalamat namo isip mga as implementers aning ato ang municipality, diin ang ato ang LGU is very much supportive pod, no, to kuan hatag og supply nga magamit sa ato ang mga learners, no, sa pag-produce sa ilahang mga learning activity sheet ug mga modules. So dako kayo namo nang dakong tabang yan kanang gabi makabukhad jud og heart ang help nga mo ang na-receive sa ato ang gikan sa ato ang LGU. So thank you so much.
Hinaot lang pud ta nga ang mga estudyante mo tabang sad mo sa inyong kaugalingon.
Yes.
Kay wala jud ta pabiyai sa atong LGU.
Yes. Mojud. So no, ALS is not a second class education but a second chance education. Walay babag sa taong adunay pangandoy. To better days ahead. Good day and God bless. Padayon pagsidlak Bacolod.